Hi, welcome to Crypto Vagabonds YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about adoption. But before we go into that, there's a disclaimer I need to get through. I'm not a financial advisor nor tax advisor. Once you understand that, we can jump straight into the video. It is too late to get into crypto. Where are we in terms of adoption? How much percent of the population already has adopted cryptocurrencies? These are the questions that I'm going to be answering here. And the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of people are coming to me and saying it's too late for me to get into BTC. BTC is already over 15, 16,000. It is too late for me. And they show me headlines with 13% adoption here, 25% adoption there. So today in this video, I'm going to explain what is adoption, how to measure adoption, and where are we in the crypto adoption space. So before anything else, let's look at the graph. So in this graph, we can see clearly that many technologies go to the stage of adoption. So from 0 to 2.5%, as you can see here, are called the tech enthusiasts or the innovators. Now, the automobile industry went through this, the electricity went through this, the internet went through this. Every new technology goes to those stages of adoption. So from one, and everyone wants to be like between 1 and 2.5% because this is where the innovation is very immature, is still growing, and you can get things in for really cheap. Then around between 2.5 to 13.5%, we have the visionaries. And if you didn't adopt it as an innovator, you most likely want to adopt on the early adopter stage. And then of course there is the chasm, and then you have pragmatists, conservatives, and skeptics. So because of this graph, we need to be able to understand where are we in terms of crypto adoption. So now let's leave this graph on the side and let's start to explain what is adoption. And this is where I kind of get into trouble because my definition of adoption is very different than what other people define to be adoption. So I'm going to cover this definition of adoption by making sure we clarify who are not the adopters. And again, I'm not trying to redefine the term adoption. It's just that this innovation is different than the internet, and this innovation is different than, for instance, Facebook, Instagram, or other innovations or other apps, websites, platforms that came into existence. So let's try to define adoption. And why do I believe we are not at 23, 25% adoption yet? So first of all, there's a lot of people trading. Now, what people do not know is that traders are not even owning what they trade. Not only that, the platforms that they are trading that asset in does not even have to have the asset. So if you go, for instance, to platforms like El Toro, which is a trading platform. Now, El Toro does not have crypto. You cannot withdraw crypto from El Toro. That means they don't even have BTC. What they do is they allow you to have an instrument where you speculate on the price performance of BTC. Again, they don't need to have BTC, they just need to allow you to speculate on the price. Same thing for exchanges. People may not know this, and then there's another video that I'm making that's going to come in the future about fake BTC. But exchanges do not even need to have the BTC in order to allow you to trade. So if someone is trading, let's say, euros versus dollars versus petrol, latex, gold, silver, those people are actually speculating on the price of those things. They're never going to hold silver, they're never going to hold petrol, they're just going to be speculating on the price. They are not adopters by my definition. They're people who are exposed to the price performance of the asset. And the reason why to me they are not adopters is because they do not own the asset, they don't hold the asset. So that's why I draw a line and say those are not adopters. And again, I'm not trying to redefine the term adoption. I'm just trying to adapt the term adoption to this new technology. And the reason why I use this term is because adoption comes from the word to adopt a child. So if a parent, for instance, adopt a child, that parent or those parents, they will not abandon the child because the regulation changed in their country. They're not going to let go of the child if the child got sick or ill. But those so-called adopters on trading, if the regulations change, they're going to ditch that asset. If the asset lowers its performance in price, they're going to sell it. So they're not really adopters. Like, there was a lot of scandals, for instance, on Facebook. Did that diminish the amount of adopters? Very slightly. But when you see something very negative happening on BTC in terms of regulation or in terms of price performance, people dish that out. So a trader to me is exposed to the price of BTC, but he's not an adopter of BTC. Now, once we define, okay, there's some people exposed to the price, they're speculating the price, but they're not owning BTC, they're not owning crypto, they're just speculating the price, those are not adopters. Now, let me tell you who else is not adopter. So if you do have cryptocurrency and people, for instance, they buy ETFs on cryptocurrency, again, they're not adopting BTC, they're just buying an ETF that says that allegedly this company may have some BTC. Again, those are not adopters. They're buying an instrument that derives from that asset, but they're not adopting the asset per se. They own a piece of paper that says I owe you in BTC, which is an ETF. So someone who is trading is not an adopter. Someone who is buying ETF is not an adopter. And let's compare this, for instance. If someone buys, let's say, a basket of shares, let's say the S&P 500, and in that basket there is, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, and they are not users, they never use the platform, they don't use Instagram, they don't even know what that is. Are those adopters? No, those are people who are exposed to the platform via a financial instrument. They don't have any idea of what those platforms are, how to use it, so they're not really adopters. The same way, if someone buys an ETF, they are not, in my opinion, an adopter. And again, those ETFs are only valid until regulations change, and then they have to ditch that. So same thing for people, for instance, who put BTC on their balance sheet, and then if the regulations come into play in a negative form and BTC becomes illegal, they want to sell it. To me, those are not adopters. So adopter to me would be someone who tries to understand the technology, research and study what BTC is, and at least try to have BTC on a cold storage. If you do have BTC on a cold storage, if you hold a hardware device with BTC on it, I'm willing to say you are an adopter. You're buying the asset and you're using the asset. Now, other people who I don't consider to be adopter is people who do what I do with BTC or what I used to do. So when I came to this space in 2015, I moved everything that I had in the financially speaking into BTC. So I only had BTC. I did not participate on the fiat. My bank account got closed because I was no longer in the country where my bank account was open. So to make a long story short, I had an account in Europe, but I was mostly in South America. So the European bank just closed my account and asked me to, they actually sent me a check. So my account was closed in the end of 2014. In the beginning of 2015, I was introduced to BTC, and then I moved solely to BTC and not operating BTC. I only pay my bills in BTC, or I sell BTC to pay my bills, so I don't have a bank account. Now, I consider myself to be an adopter when I'm doing that. Now, when I use BTC to make remittances, which means sometimes I have to send money to my family in South America, and for a long time, BTC was a good choice. So I would send them BTC to an exchange, and then within a few minutes, they would be able to transfer the BTC into fiat in Brazil. Now, if I use BTC for remittances, I'm not an adopter. I need to make a remittance. I need to send money abroad, and BTC enabled me to do that. So I just use that as an instrument to solve a problem. I'm not interested in the technology. I'm not interested in what it is. I'm not interested in what BTC is. I just know that it can solve my problem. So people who are exposed to BTC via the price speculation, people who are exposed to BTC by some other financial instrument, or people that use BTC as a way to solve a problem such as sending money abroad to their family, those to me are not adopters. Adopters are people who study, understand, and at least have the intent of holding long-term BTC on their cold storage. So, and if we distill adoption to that level, then you may not believe this, but back to the graph, we are still in the innovator stages. And if you want to understand more how to become a genuine true adopter, feel free to contact me and message us. I want to show you what BTC enables you to do and how can you safely enter the space, understand what it is, and safely store BTC. I hope this video was useful to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you don't agree with me, leave in the comments below. If you do agree, leave in the comments below. And if you want to join me live, there will be a link where you can join us on Clubhouse or join us on our crypto Q&A. I hope this was helpful to you. Please use the link below to contact me if you need help. See you in the next video. Thank you.